Welcome to the 2026 energy update for the subtle and often overt energy paths of soul. My name is Gabe Marihugh, and I've been a trained, practicing, and professional clairvoyant for over 30 years, teaching now what I call sacred dream walking, which is a path of embodied psychic practice and soul-centered living. This is the first of what will be a monthly energy update, and I'm beginning here mid-January for a very specific reason. The first half of January was about initiation. It was crossing the 1-1 portal, moving through the emotional intensity of the Cancer supermoon on the 3rd, and experiencing the amplification of the 111 master number gateway. We've been in threshold crossing mode, in deep emotional and ancestral work, in the process of getting clear about what we're actually beginning this year. And now, as we approach this Capricorn new moon on the 18th, just a couple days from when I'm recording this, we're entering the second moment of January. And this is foundation building. This is exactly when I wanted to begin this practice, not at a surface level, Happy New Year moment when everyone's making resolutions, which probably haven't lasted, as they say, but at the moment instead when we're ready to actually build something that lasts. So from February onward, these energy updates will arrive at the start of each month. But today, I'm beginning with foundation, which is what Capricorn new moon teaches us. Start with what is solid. Start with what endures. Don't rush. Build it right. Each month, I gather a lot of elements, astrological movements, cosmic events, seasonal shifts, collective energies, and bring them together into core themes. This is a way to help our inner and outer worlds work with a common language as we navigate the currents of change. These themes aren't meant to be abstractions. They're living energies that you can orient to, work with, and embody. This energy update also has an accompanying guided meditation video. The link is in the description, designed specifically to work with the foundation building energy of this second half of January. I also invite you to subscribe to my channel for daily meditations, which include both anytime themes that you can listen to any day, as well as specific dated portal meditations. This includes the Capricorn new moon on the 18th. So now let's look at where we've been and where we're going here in January. January opened with the 1-1 portal, the gateway of gateways. This is the threshold between what was and what will be. This year began a different sort of portal opening than most. This was because Mars was in retrograde since early December, and it remains retrograde throughout all of January. So Mars, the planet of action, will, when it's in retrograde, that energy turns inward. We're being asked to redirect, reconsider, and review how we've been using our power before we're given, permission to move forward from ourselves. So the year opened with this paradox. It was gateway energy that said, begin, go forth. And it was Mars in retrograde energy that said, whoa, not yet, reflect. This was the first teaching of January, that true initiation requires consciousness, not just momentum. And then just 2 days into the month came the Cancer supermoon on January 3rd. This was one of the most emotionally potent lunar events of the entire year. Cancer, generally associated with home and belonging, emotional safety, family, ancestry. I'm pretty sure you felt it. The supermoon brought all of that to the surface with an extra glow to it. You might call it intensity. So for many of us, the first week of January wasn't a first week of the year kind of making plans or setting goals kind of week. It was more about feeling, about deep feeling, waves of emotion that seemed to come from nowhere, longing for connection, all these things. We were in some very core ways, questioning where we truly belong. These ancestral patterns becoming more visible, both the gifts and the wounds we've been inheriting. And that brought forth the sort of second layer of the teaching of the month. Can't truly begin something new if we don't know where we belong. We can't cross a threshold while pretending to be someone we're not, while carrying wounds that we're refusing to not acknowledge. And then 10 days later, after all of this, on January 11th, we crossed the 111 master number portal. The master numbers 11, 22, 33. These are amplifiers. They're moments when the energetic field becomes more responsive to intention. So whatever we were holding during that gateway got magnified. It's a calendrical event, January 1st, right? We name it that. But this is a collective agreement that we name it that. So it has a tremendous energy to it. So if we'd been doing the work of the first 10 days, crossing the 1-1 threshold consciously, feeling into the Cancer supermoon's depths, getting clear about where we actually belong in orientation to it all, then the 111 portal amplified that clarity. This could be that if we'd been avoiding the work, staying in old patterns, the 111 amplified that too. So could be both for some people as well. And that brought in this sort of third layer, which was the universe meets us where we are. It doesn't necessarily judge us, it just reflects us and then amplifies that. And so here we are, mid-month, we've crossed the thresholds, we've felt deeply, we've had our intentions amplified, and now comes the question that Capricorn is always asking: what are we actually going to build? So on January 18th, we experienced the new moon in Capricorn. If Cancer is the emotional depths and Capricorn is the mountain peak, if Cancer asks, where do we belong? Capricorn asks, where are we building? And here's what's sort of a pivotal thing to see here. Capricorn doesn't really take shortcuts. It doesn't involve itself with half measures. It doesn't take part in dreams without practical steps. Capricorn is the master builder, the architect, the energy that understands that lasting structures require solid foundations. So we might have the most beautiful vision in the world, but if we don't have the foundation to support it, it will collapse under its own weight. And this new moon in Capricorn is asking, what foundation are we laying? Not what we're dreaming about, not what we hope might happen. What are we actually committing to? What structures, the internal and external both, are we building to support what we're becoming? And then, of course, we have the Mars still in retrograde, which continues through the end of January and into February. It becomes essential wisdom rather than an obstacle. It's a beautiful alignment. The Mars retrograde has been forcing this review of how we've been using our energy, our will, our fire. It's been showing us where we've been scattering our power, where we've been building on unstable ground, where we've been trying to force things that need to be approached differently. By the time this Capricorn new moon arrives, we've had 2.5 weeks to see all of this clearly. We've had time to recognize what's actually working in our lives and what's falling apart because the foundation either never was solid or no longer is. This new moon in Capricorn is the moment we commit, not with words, with choice, with action, with the recognition that foundation isn't something we talk about, it's something we build, one conscious decision at a time. So what does foundation actually look like? Foundation looks like structures that support us rather than constrict us. It looks like daily practices that are sustainable, not just dramatic gestures. We're not talking about New Year's resolution versions of this stuff. The complete self-transformation starting Monday. I'm not talking about that kind of energy that burns out by Tuesday. We're talking about the kind of energy that Capricorn transmits. It is slow and steady. It's built to last. So foundation looks like relationships built on mutual respect, not built on need or obligation. It looks like work that aligns with our values, not just, needs or, our bills. It looks like choices made from clarity, not knee-jerk desperation. And so Capricorn is bringing this teaching that foundation is about the long game. Capricorn thinks in years, in decades, in lifetimes. It asks, if we're still building this 5 years from now, will we be glad we started? If we're still in this relationship or career or this practice 10 years from now, will we feel nourished or will we feel drained or misguided? These are the questions that matter more than the fleeting excitement of New Year momentum. So how does foundation building show up in the second half of January? It shows up as the need for practical planning, not just visioning, not just New Year visioning. Vision is beautiful, but vision without structure is fantasy. We need both. We need to know where we're going, and we need to know the steps that will get us there. It can show up as a recognition of where our current structures are failing us. That's likely very common right now. Maybe the way we've been organizing our time isn't sustainable, or maybe we've been handling our energy in a way that leaves us depleted, or approaching relationships in ways that keep recreating the same patterns. The foundation building requires looking really honestly at what isn't working and being willing to build differently. Another aspect is accountability to ourselves, to our commitments, to our long-term vision. Not the punishing kind of accountability, but the loving kind. The kind that says, we care about our future selves. We care about them so much to make choices now that will serve us later. Something else that foundation looks for is discipline. It's not a discipline of deprivation. It's a discipline, really the better word is devotion. If you can marry those two, that's what is meant here. The deprivation model is, I have to force myself to do this thing that I don't want to do. But the devotion version of it is, I'm choosing this because it serves what I'm building. Capricorn is in deep sync with this second one. The mountain wasn't built in a day. It was built over eons, layer by layer. It was a patient, persistent pressure. That's what we're learning to do with our lives. And it brings us back to the Mars retrograde throughout the rest of January. It's giving us time to get this very clear and also get it right. So by the end of the month, as Mars prepares to move direct, start doing its normal thing again in late February. But by the end of the month, it starts to make that shift. We'll have this clarity about where our energy needs to go. We'll know what structures need to be built or rebuilt or released. Well, we don't have to wait until Mars goes direct, though, to begin. I think that's important. We can use this time, this Capricorn new moon on the 18th through the end of January, to lay the first stones of foundation. So it may not feel like we're really beginning, because we want to rush and force and just build one big thing right now. But if instead we don't rush and we don't force, but we build one choice, one step at a time, then we are beginning. The Capricorn new moon is an invitation to commit to that, to choose the one thing. It might just be one thing. It might be more than one thing, but whatever you choose, you're choosing it as the one thing. We're going to build with consistency and care into this. One practice, one boundary, one structure, one foundation stone. This gives us an orientation to how to approach everything. And then we have to show up for it over and over and over, even when it's not exciting, even when nobody's watching, even when we don't want to watch. When the initial enthusiasm, when the vision has worn out. This is why it's important, because if we just have vision, we never build. But if we commit to building beyond when the vision is within us, and then it can come back around and reinfuse our work, and it is a happy meeting down the road between renewed vision and the work that we have put into it. So how do we weave it all together? The energies, the themes of this month I have called initiation, belonging, and foundation. I like to choose 3 themes. We can't build lasting foundation without first crossing the threshold consciously. So we had to step through the 1-1 portal with awareness. We had to do the work of initiation. And of course, there's no perfect initiation. It's trial and error. But we had to go through that and get what we got. We can't build on ground that we don't actually belong to. It won't support us. So we had to feel into these deep Cancerian supermoon depths. We had to ask where we truly belong, where soul family is, what emotional safety actually means to us. And now we build initiation, belonging, foundation. We take what we've learned in the first half of January, the thresholds, belonging, and we build practical, sustainable structures to support it. These aren't 3 separate things. This is one continuous gesture. And this is why I'm beginning this month, this new series of energy updates here at this Capricorn new moon, because what I'm building with this practice, this monthly offering, it needs a solid foundation. There are so many voices out there. It needs to be deeply rooted, grounded. And so I'm not trying to start it with hype or already existent momentum of everyone starting new things. I'm starting it with structure, with a commitment, with an understanding that makes it worth doing, makes it worth building it right. So there is a guided meditation that accompanies this energy update. It's designed specifically to work with the foundation building energy of this Capricorn new moon and the remainder of January. The link is in the description. Throughout the rest of January, I'll be, of course, offering the daily meditations on this channel, including some specific ones for portals. The new moon is coming up. Some other elements. Each one is an opportunity to deepen relationship with these energies, and remembering that these energies aren't separate. These are one continuous gesture. If you find yourself drawn to go deeper with this kind of work and practice, to explore these types of techniques, if you will, in community, and to learn the foundations of sacred dream walking, which is the art of embodied psychic sovereignty, you're welcome to join us at sacreddreamwalking.com. We gather there for teaching, practice, and support as we walk this path together. Just remember that the second half of January is not about rushing. It's about building, trusting the foundation, building with care, committing to what lasts.